I'm JoJo.
And I'm Katja. Welcome to our podcast.
Each week we learn from the experts about all things women's health and happiness.
We are two very normal, imperfect women.
Navigating this crazy thing called life.
And trying to stay happy and healthy while we do it. So, grab a cuppa.
Or tidy away that pile of laundry.
And enjoy our discoveries.
Hello everyone, we are back.
I'm back, yes, for episode 2.
Episode 2.
Thank you for tuning in and listening.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the last episode.
All about Jolanthe, JoJo.
Yeah, it was the JoJo show. I'm going to try not to make every show the JoJo show. I promise you that.
It's fine, I don't mind that. I just sit back here and drink.
Oh, yes. And also, you know, we don't actually drink all the time, I just want to say. But,
no, we don't know.
But yeah, anyway, just put it out there. So today, I'll be interviewing Katja.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Katja is many things. We're going to get to know her a bit more. She's a ridiculously hardworking mum of 2. She's my lovely neighbour, an amazing cook. I learn so much from her every time I go to her house. She's cringing right now. She's like, no, I'm not. She's an entrepreneur and a fellow health nerd.
Very
as
true.
We established last time. And as we established last time, a fellow fan of the smut. Smutty, sexy books.
Yeah, it's like a new thing we've bonded over.
I had no idea you were both like
I feel that a lot of us, actually, if we really admit to ourselves, are a fan of the smutty book.
I think so. Yeah, I think a
Can't
lot
just
of
be
us.
too.
Yes, seriously. So let us know. Do you like some smut? We like some smut. Anyway, maybe we've got the focus of this podcast wrong. Maybe it should all be about... Anyway, I'm going to carry on. Anyway, Katja, as well as keeping 2 energetic young children out of trouble, mostly, she runs the Bath branch of the Mum Club, which is quite a full-on task, I think.
Yeah,
and I see
anyone who does events.
all the events you organise, all the Instagram posts you make, and wow, like, respect. Seriously. And also, you are the first to help a neighbour if there is a problem. So you run to help someone. Yeah, you do.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Thank you.
So seriously, Katja, how do you do it? And seriously, like when I speak to all the other people in the street, we're like, how does Katja do it? How does she do it?
It's the wrinkles.
So it's showing on her face. No, it isn't.
In the backs.
No, it isn't. Anyway, but just to let you all know, this is not actually a podcast about being a mother. I just had to mention it because it is quite a big part of our lives. But our joint interest is actually about health and happiness for all women.
Yes.
And we are kind of mid to getting into the later part of 30s. That's why we're especially interested in this area of our lives. So, let's talk about Katja. I've got some questions.
Okay.
So, Katja, what does health and happiness look and feel like to you?
I think you're quite good in your answer, and I think I feel the same. It's a very internal feeling about how you manage the day and how I feel at the end of the day I've not just survived, but I've had a good time doing it. Like my body's kept up with me. I felt fit. I can lift my kids up. Like or I can just exercise and then continue through the day. I've not exercised and suddenly felt like I need to nap. And I can just get on with daily tasks and I don't feel overwhelmed and anxiety. Like I know that's the thing. My happiness is definitely triggered on like the mental side of it and like how I control the 1,000 browser tabs in my head. And I think that's the thing is if I've managed to get through the day being focused, so not just feeling like I've get through the day physically, but I've actually managed to get through the day in a focused way as well.
Okay.
And a kind of like a focus, I've been present. Because I'm very like, you know, when you have your head spinning with all these things, I'm very good. And some days I go through it and I'm like, I don't feel like I was there at all. And I've just got through the day. And that's a mental side, not a physical one. Like the physical one, my body's just carried on through. But definitely the mental side of it, of that feeling that I've been present in the day and not
that's big. That's a big one.
Needed a distraction.
Yeah. And it's so easy just to muddle through and do all the 100,000 jobs that you've got. And and to actually be able to think, did I experience today?
Yeah.
Did I experience all the was I there for all the nice bits of today?
Yeah, like not look back and be like, oh, today was tough, but to not in a kind of, I don't be too spiritual and like, well, but
we
just,
can be.
But, yeah,
I love
but
spiritual.
But kind of like just have been like, some days I think that's what I find. I find I survive, I get through the day, and I haven't noticed anything like, not the magical bits, but just the happy bits, as you said, like the happy bits of the day.
Yeah.
I've just concentrated on the getting through rather than pausing.
Yeah. So
that's
for you, your happiness journey always is kind of for you that you want to maybe try to be more mindful and present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm very sceptical on the whole mindful thing, which doesn't help.
I will convince you. I'm all about mindfulness.
No, you're very good. You're very good.
No, I'm not good. It's just, I like it.
Yeah. And just, I do know, I do understand like there's ways of methods of and tools out there, but I've just never found one that works.
Yeah.
I suppose when you're so busy and I just feel like my head just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's something that almost all women probably have.
Yeah.
Going on in their life. It's just there's just so much stuff being asked of us all the time. Yeah,
there is.
And you don't want. I think when I hear a story on the news or read something about someone suddenly getting a cancer diagnosis and like dying really quickly, and it makes you think like, oh yes, like you really have to live every day.
Yeah.
And it does make me think I'm not living every day.
Yeah.
As much as it would be nice to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see something recently that kind of, Instagram's good for some things and like social media, and there's one thing saying that once we've gone, none of the stuff that our house would, but then it doesn't mean, like, it's just, I think it was trying to say the whole point is like, once we've gone, like, and soon we just become memories, and then soon we're no one's memories. We're just like, in your family tree, someone will know you're there. So it's kind of like not in a way of like, don't bother about stuff, but kind of just appreciate.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I struggle with. And I think I find it hard to kind of the mindfulness and get into it. And I think that's where it'd be good at the end of the day to be like reflect. But I've just never been good at that.
Yeah. Well, you are in a difficult situation with your current life stage. Anyone would forgive you for not being the most Zen mindfulness person. So don't worry. We do forgive you. But yeah, it does, I think, it will add to your well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah, to add a bit of that in.
Yeah, that's what I think. It is a lot of mine. The health thing is the internal, like how I feel, my body, everything, not aching pains or anything like that. But then the mental happiness bit is a big thing, I think, at the moment in the current stage.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we might get some speakers, some experts on to teach us a bit more how we can do that in everyday life.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's a good answer. Thank you.
Thanks for that.
What do you want to get from this podcast?
I think we may have kind of touched on our previous ones, but I definitely feel that I want it to be like kind of a toolbox of I want to break down all those headlines of what we shouldn't be doing, and actually just find this is what we should be doing. It's really easy, and it's the easy, relatable, but actually will make a big difference to your life. Those kind of tools that's not like it's not you have to overhaul your whole lifestyle, and like because that's not always feasible. It's like the little tools, and I want to be able to give us the lifestyle that it's a bit more. I don't know. It's for as longevity, as you said. Like it's all about like the pension pot and the working towards the lifestyle later on down the line as well. I just want to get those tools from the experts to understand what we really need to be doing and what we need to look out for. I suppose. Yeah.
Small, actionable, possible. Yeah. Not some high lofty goal like you should be running a marathon. Like no way. That's not gonna. You should be waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
And that's the thing is that like people who have and to cut through all of that, like people who tell you about their lifestyle and like how their fitness things, like people who are not trainers but think on social media or like a news headline, it's like, is it relative? And a lot of the time it's not relative. We're not all like, most of us sit on an office desk, or most of us are doing something else in our day. Our bodies don't need to look a certain way. Yeah. So why do we need to follow this kind of prescriptive? It's not relative to us, and it's like that isn't actually healthy in a lot of the place. So I kind of feel that it's just getting through those headlines as well of what we actually need to do.
Let's debunk the headlines.
Myths.
The myths out there. Don't believe the headlines. Okay, well, let's go on to this nitty-gritty question. Serious one. what's your biggest failure and what did you learn from that experience?
So yours was really good last week. You had a real clear cut kind of failure. My failures are small but frequent.
Okay.
In a way, like, I have probably started 4 businesses in my life, of like various degrees of like, I am very good with an idea, and at the beginning I have a real passion for this idea and I really want to do it, and then I just don't, and I start it. And honestly, I have registered probably 4 businesses with Companies House, and I have really wanted to do it, but I've never finished it.
Ah, okay.
And I've never, and this is like the story of my life is I'm really bad at finishing things, and I really am bad at seeing things through. When it gets too tough, that I probably give up.
Okay.
Or when life gets away, I find it really hard to restart again. So all these like failed businesses, I feel like I've not failed. I never even got off the starting block. So I feel that my thing is that I never commit to one thing at one time. I let a lot of things like get on top of me and I never go back to it, or I like get too like bogged down, like, I want to do this and I'm going to do it now, and I never just slow down and think of the reality of what that might mean if I can do it. So my failures are all the fact that I have I go off the mark and I start something and then I never finish them, or I don't think it through.
Interesting. What I hear also is that you are very creative. So let's put a positive spin on this. So, so you just have like all these ideas. Like you're like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's another good idea. Yeah. So, but it's just...
I'd love to have like all the money in the world and be like, hey, guys, I've got an idea. Someone go try and do that for me. So my minion come.
You need to be like a CEO and like just start lots of little like startups.
I'd love to do that, actually. I'd love to be someone like a business analyst who goes into other companies and gives them ideas and then comes out of it, and I don't have to...
You're the idea person.
Don't have to...
Yeah. Well,
the laziest job in the world.
No.
Here's what you should do. I'm going to leave now.
Some people are idea people and other people are worker bees. Yeah. And they just like to have a task and do it and stick to it. And I think everyone has their own skills and their own special powers.
Yeah, I think that's definitely is my failures are... They're true examples that I must have like for businesses. Like, that have been registered and started and never gone anywhere with.
Well, like, we will be a good team.
Yeah, this is why I'm saying this. You're like, why do I start this podcast?
No. I feel like this is great because you made us start with your idea. You were like, let's do a podcast together. And I'm like, okay. And then I am the more the worker bee that I'm going to
You're going to force me to do it. Yeah. And I don't mind, this is the thing, I don't mind doing the work when someone like, it's a good thing that you're here, because my not wanting to let you down, my people pleasing side will then be like, okay, no, I have to do this now.
It's good to have a team.
It's not just me like being like, no, you'd have to do it. I let myself off the hook and I don't ever do it. I'm like, and then I regret it, and I always think about these. But it's the same with like daily things. I always do this. Start like have this great idea and then just like do anything with it. Like, okay, we're going to do this, and my husband's probably like, what?
Another one.
Yeah. No, this is not going to go anywhere.
We will prove him wrong.
Yeah. I think he's waiting for me to see like this, like something come of it.
We will prove him wrong.
Yeah, everyone please prove my husband wrong.
Listen to us. Here's our
just to prove
promise.
My husband wrong, please.
We're going to publish many episodes. Yeah. Keep listening. Oh, well, thank you for being so honest.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
And like I said, everyone's got different special powers. And we all have like a special gifts, and then areas that are, different.
Yeah.
And then we have to like support each other and get the right teams around us to make up for those differences.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I need to get my team. You and part my new team.
Yeah, we're a team.
We're a team.
Okay. Well, moving on. If you could interview anyone on this podcast, who would it be?
So this kind of probably links to an answer that I might give for another question that you have at the end. But I'd like to interview Peter Attia. You know, the guy from The Drive.
Yes.
I have just started his book, Outlive, and I just think that he's got the same kind of concept about giving the tools to people and, like, you steer your ship, but I'm going to give you the facts and things. And he's just very good at describing health in a really scientific, evidence-based way. Clear-cut facts, and the way he talks, I really like what he has to bring to it. He does also focus on his podcast a bit on like women's health separate to men's, but he doesn't always separate the two, which is what I find interesting. Yeah. Sometimes I'd like a bit more like, this is true for men but not women.
So you want to like drill him on. Okay, like, give me the nuance about women.
That's true, but is that true for just general human?
Yeah,
or is that true
for women?
Us women, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, well, you know what?
No, maybe one day.
It might
Peter,
happen.
If you're listening,
Peter
please.
Attia, he's still alive. The Queen is not alive. Last
that
episode.
Was a good answer, though.
So, yeah. Cool. Well, that could be our aim.
Yeah.
Get a very successful podcaster on. Yeah. I think is he a neuroscientist? Or is that someone else?
He's a doctor. He was a pancreatic surgeon.
Oh, okay.
Surgeon,
but he's like
and now he's
practicing MD kind of thing.
Practicing, yeah. So, yeah.
Cool. No, Peter Attia. I must borrow that book when you're finished with it. Yeah. Because I want to read it.
Yeah.
In like 5-minute chunks when I get a chance.
It's over 10 years.
Yes.
You'll bring out 3 more. You
take a long time. But cool. Okay, Peter, we're coming for you.
Yep.
You better watch out. Okay. What occupation other than your own would you like to try?
Mine's quite similar to yours in the fact that, and it probably leans into why we're doing this podcast, is I really love everything about the body and how it works. I think it's quite magical, and I think it's the way everything like affects everything else, and how, when anyone tells me about it, so I'd love to be like a physio.
Okay.
Or someone who can help fix, I think, things and things that have gone wrong, or maybe a sports physio, for like a team, a football, a rugby team, not a rugby team, I think would be.
Oh, yes.
You saw right through that.
Okay.
Oh, do you know? I think that, and I actually have a friend.
You just need to take your t-shirt off. I'm sorry. I can't fix your shoulder. Anyway, sorry.
So I would like to or work with people who've had an injury and help them get back out, because I find it all fascinating, especially when I've had an injury and I've had to go see someone. They're telling me what's happened and what I need to do.
Okay, interesting. It's like, because you can, and also with a physio, you can see the outcome. Yeah. Like someone's in pain, in discomfort, and something's not working, and then you help them get to the other side. So that would be so satisfying as well.
Yeah, and it also would be that kind of links back to I have an idea, I have to fix this, but you also have to do the work. Yeah. So I'd have to do it all.
I will direct.
On the client. I will direct from above, and then you come back and I will tell you you've done a bad job or a good job. Okay. But no, that kind of so that probably would be, I don't have a fun one though.
Physio.
Maybe a dog walker.
Dog walker. Yeah.
I like
lots of exercise. Yeah. Yeah. Outdoors. Yeah. Fresh air. Doggy cuddles.
Or a florist.
A florist.
Yeah, I do like flowers.
Well, there's a good florist in Corsham where we live. Yeah. You can always get a side job.
Take me on. When I'm older, yeah.
Cool.
When I'm older, when the kids are older, I meant to say that. When I'm older.
When Katja grows up, she'd like to be a florist.
When do we grow up? That's another question. Never.
Okay, well, those are our relatively serious questions.
Yeah, sorry.
And now, what's your biggest pet peeve?
In the health industry, my biggest pet peeve
in the health industry, yes.
Is I could go with life, loads of pet peeves, but I'm going to keep it focused on this one. Is when we were growing up, there was a lot of things of what I eat in a day. I cannot stand people telling you, like fitness influencers or anybody saying to you, or celebrities, or anybody saying, this is what I eat in a day, as if to tell you like what you should be eating, or even like it's not a daily thing, like you have no idea, there's no background to that. And as someone younger who I also struggled with like how I ate and how I saw my body, and would caroly, how do you say Carol?
Count?
Yeah, is that the word?
Count calories?
Calories, yeah.
Calorie count.
Calorie count.
Yes, calorie counting.
But like, yes. I couldn't say calorie.
Don't worry.
Calorie.
It's all the prosecco.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We actually don't drink that much.
No,
I can't
we
say
really don't.
Carolie.
Sounds calorie. Calorie.
Calorie.
There
we go. I'm from the north. We say things differently.
Yeah.
But I have a real issue with that, and I think I used to think that. So this celebrity said, "Oh, she ate this in a day," and then a nutritionist. I remember it being an article in a magazine I used to have, and maybe at the end it'd be like, "This is what she's eating a day," and the nutritionist would pick it apart. The expert would pick it apart.
Oh, I remember those articles.
And it'd be like, but then so I used to be like, okay, so this woman who could be training for a marathon is eating this, so I should be able to eat this because but there's no kind of relative what she was doing that day. And there's one woman actually, who was amazing once. Do you know Deliciously Ella?
Yes.
So I remember her years ago, must have been about 5-6 years ago, on her Instagram, put on saying, a lot of you are asking me to say what I eat in a day. And she said, it's not relative because I'm trained to be a yoga instructor. I also run and I'm also pregnant. All these things, like I'm breastfeeding.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I eat in the day. It's not relative to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that message should be like relayed, that you should never listen to what someone says, what I eat in a day, unless it's really relevant to you and what they're doing, as if it's like you are training for a marathon or you're going on an ultra marathon and this is what you need to pack to eat each day.
It's so different, isn't it?
Yeah. So everybody's bodies react differently. You don't know what I've done in the morning. So it kind of is it really, really gets to me, that whole food issue, because I struggled with counting calories. I got there.
Yes.
Counting calories. I did know the word. And I would kind of but not in the same, it wasn't extreme. It was more I would make sure I only ate 1,000 calories a day. And I would run to work, and then I'd eat and count my calories and track them, and then I'd run home, and the lower my calorie count in the day, I felt better about. And I got really slim, but not in a way that people thought I looked unhealthy. People comment that I look good, which suddenly gets dangerous as well. So it's all that, and they'd be like, oh, and someone said to me, oh, you've got a thigh gap.
Oh, and they complimented you.
Yeah, well done you. And I was like, and it's just, and then in my head, if that really stuck, that was an achievement of being looking good, is to have a thigh gap.
Yeah.
And it's just not. And, and it just, and then it was the one thing that when I looked in the mirror, I'd focus on is if my thighs were touching. Oh, and it was just, and then I would just not eat, and I just, So I have a real issue with about food, about what people say what they eat in a day, because it's just not relevant.
Yeah, it really isn't. So. Exactly, I completely agree.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I'd find it very weird if someone asked, what do you eat?
Yeah,
and it's not relevant.
If you want advice for healthy meals, here's some healthy meal inspiration. Great.
Yeah.
But don't take it, or you want if you want something that's protein heavy meals, that's a really good thing. But don't be I eat this every day, or this is what I eat, because
you must eat the same to be healthy.
Because what's the point of that?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're such diverse creatures.
Yeah.
We're all so different, and we can tolerate so many different things.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can have cultures all over the world have such vastly different diets, and on the whole, people are fine.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's problems these days with a lot of diabetes and more stuff, a lot of processed stuff, and anyway, but that apart, I understand what you say.
Yeah.
It's a good pet peeve. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners...
Just stepped off my pedestal.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, everyone.
Mic drop.
Yeah. I'm done now.
Okay, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm an introvert.
Oh.
I was just very close. I was kind of laughing when you did your episode, is that I'm an extrovert introvert in the fact that I like my own company. I love seeing people. As you said, I do thrive off the social element of seeing people, but I don't know if I'm trained this way because I am alone with the kids a lot of the time, that I don't know whether I've become, but I think I naturally would like to just spend time. I don't get FOMO, I won't get fear of missing out. Sometimes I do if I haven't been, if everyone's gone out and I'm I really need a night out and seeing people. But not to think, I think maybe you said that the big crowds thing, I'm definitely not a big crowds person. I would find, I prefer one-on-one chats with people in the street than forcing a chat. Does that make sense? I'd rather rather than small talk, I really thrive of just one-on-one chats, or just, or I don't mind group chats in a way, but I definitely feel I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
I feel like my own space.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Perfect.
Leave me alone, everyone.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a skill. It can be such a good thing if you can enjoy your company.
Yeah.
And be completely content and be I'm happy.
I say this, but I'm a talker as well, so.
Yeah.
I'm an introverted talker.
You're an introverted talker. So when you're by yourself, do you just talk at yourself?
I don't know what I do.
But I do find
I'm a crazy woman.
I do find it that a little sad for you, because I know the life stage that you're in, you basically don't have alone time.
No, I don't.
It's very intense for you right now. So
yeah.
So I think there's a couple of days a week when your children are at nursery.
Yeah. I literally, when I drop them off
precious,
on the day that
precious
they're
time.
in, I literally come home and I sit, like today I came back, they were in today, and I came back and the music was on. I just was like, stop. And it was just quiet. And I need to have that, no one talking. And sometimes I just sit on the couch and just like, I just feel like 10 minutes, I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going to start today.
Yeah.
I just need no one touching me, no sound, and just to like sit there. Yeah. I'm not even like doing any good breathing. I'm just like so zoned out. I'm just sat there, like if anyone were like knocked on the door, I'd be like dazed.
Well, I'll take that as a hint. Don't knock on the door unannounced
on a Monday morning. No, you can't. So sometimes, but I get it. Yeah, I'm definitely an introvert in that sense.
Perfect. Well, we're a good team.
We are. We definitely bounce off it, yeah.
Chalk and cheese? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, we are chalk and cheese.
Yeah, we're yin and yang.
We are. Very much so.
It's good.
We connect in the right places.
I like it. Ooh, sorry.
That sounded really weird. Moving on.
Moving on from this then. I'm joking.
Awkward.
Oh, no, it's fine. Okay. Would you rather have a sweet or savoury snack?
Sweet. Easy.
Ooh, we're different there again.
Like you, I've trained myself not to eat crisps. Okay. But I would happily never eat crisps again in my life.
Okay.
I wouldn't ever eat McDonald's or anything like that, but if you have chocolate in the house, I'll eat chocolate every day. Easy.
Interesting. Yeah. And you see, like, I
definitely have a sugar addiction, I think.
Well, addiction, I mean, it's only an addiction if it has a negative consequence on your life.
Oh, no.
But you just have a sweet tooth.
Yeah, have a sweet tooth.
That's fine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And there's so many people that have a sweet tooth.
Yeah, I'm definitely a sweet camp.
Yeah.
Easy question.
When
you said last week,
what's your favourite sweet treat then?
It'd be chocolate. But it'd be like a bar of chocolate. Like I don't see the point of I like brownies and things like that, like cakes and stuff, but just happy with just plain old dairy milk.
Yeah. Okay. Dairy milk, not even a dark chocolate.
Oh, yesterday I did eat dark chocolate.
Oh, nice.
Because I was trying to be healthy.
Okay.
But like, and it was the only thing in the house that was like relatively. It was my last bit.
Fine, I'll settle for dark chocolate.
It was, dark chocolate. Yeah, I was. I had dark chocolate yesterday, and I was like, but I do when the kids are around. If I'm doing anything with them, like it'll always be dark chocolate I use. But yeah, sometimes I just want a sweet, sugary dairy milk. Yeah. Easy.
Fair enough.
Or a cream egg. Oh,
really? Oh, I can't
think
stand them.
5 in one day when I was at uni. 5 in one day. No wonder I like waddled around.
Wow. It's just amazing how we're so different.
Yeah, no, that's sickly sweet.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Yeah. You're also English. Cream eggs are a very English thing.
Are they?
The Netherlands just doesn't... I think nowadays the Easter concept of the chocolate eggs has kind of wafted over through the media. But traditionally, the Dutch just eat boiled eggs for Easter, like actual boiled eggs, and a lot of cheese and eggs, and maybe that's why I like the salty stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
But, and like the very sweet stuff like a cream egg, I think is a very English culture thing. So I mean, for you, it's nothing to do with your willpower. It's probably how you grew up.
Yeah, well, Cadbury World is literally like an hour up the road.
There you go. It was your childhood.
Yeah.
Blame your parents.
Blame my parents. Yeah, I will do. Blame them for everything. It's all their fault.
Okay, so if I want to make you happy, get you a cream egg. So would you rather win an Olympic gold medal or write a best-selling novel?
Novel. We're similar there. I do novel.
Nice. Yeah. What kind?
It'd be a fiction. It would be like romantic fiction.
Yay, romantic.
Maybe not splitty.
Have you ever started one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, in the fact I've laid out the plans. But obviously I've started like businesses and they've failed. But I've laid out the plans. But I find I don't know if anyone else agrees with this, that I find that at the end of my cycle, my menstrual cycle, I get really creative, and that's when I'm more likely to write something.
And is this the premenstrual week? The end of the cycle, as in like the week before your period?
Before my period. I'll get really creative and I want to do things like that. That's when I'll write a book or do crafts or want to get a crafty, creative thing out of me. And that is when I've started to write books. And like I said, I don't know if I said it in the last year one, that I'd love to write a book about our street. So we live on a little street, and I'd love to write a book about, I'll just give my ideas away, someone else can write it now. It's about the book would be that it'd be a series, but everyone has a story on the street, and every book starts on the same day. So every book starts like, say, the King's Coronation Street Party. Yeah. And that's how it starts, and everyone starts on that day, and then everyone's peters off into their own stories.
And would there be, so it'd be one book with different characters? And each character would start on that same day?
So each character would have a different book.
A different book? So it's like a whole series of books?
Yeah.
Wow, not like a chapter each or something?
No, it'd be like each book starts on this one same day, and then you go into the life of this person, of what they saw on that day. Cool. How their life was affected by it.
Yeah. So you want like serious fiction?
Oh, yeah.
See, I've never been into the serious fiction, just the smutty kind. But well done you, though. That's exciting.
Yeah, that was the idea.
I hope one day you'll get the chance to do that.
Yeah, listeners, please don't steal my idea.
Don't steal the idea.
For me.
Well, they can steal it, but you'll just do it better.
Yeah. It's my original, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, one day when your little kids
are not so little,
a little bit more independent.
Yeah.
Or maybe when they're just full-time in school.
Yeah, not too far.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, let's move on. Where are we? Would you rather ruin someone's surprise party or show up in casual wear to a black tie event?
I'm laughing at this because yours is really selfless, your answer. And mine would be...
No,
mine would be because I have spoiled people's surprise parties before. Unintentionally did not know it was a surprise party. I'd want it to be unintentional. I wouldn't want it to be that I wouldn't want it to be that I was like, I'm going to ruin your party. But I'd rather, if I was invited to a black tie, I'd rather be dressed appropriately for that. But I think that leans into a lot of my upbringing on appearance and how you, I'm wearing my slobs right now, but how you appear. And like when it's an event, it's kind of like you have to put on this like show of who you are. And if you've not made the right effort on the black tie, you kind of have disregarded the whole thing. So I think that's probably why my initial answer would be I'd be mortified to turn up to someone who said black tie event and I've been like, I've not read the invite or something like that. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to intentionally upset someone by ruining their surprise party, but my initial response would be, oh no, I'd be mortified at going to a black tie event in casual wear. But that is my initial selfish response.
It's not selfish. It just actually really displays the difference in culture.
Yeah.
There's a huge cultural difference between the English and the Dutch.
But also I think it's not maybe just not culture, it's a lot of people see this differently, this question. And I know mine comes around quite materialistic about how I appear. And that is an internal thing with me that I like clothes. Like my background is in clothes. And I'm like, I have been brought up with the fact that what you wear and who you are displays a lot about who you are.
Yeah.
And so
it's not just you. I mean, this is what I recognise in a lot of people that I know. Yeah, okay. I think it is
it's definitely a culture
British thing. Because I know you have a Scottish father, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's not just English.
A British thing.
I do think it is a cultural thing. And there's nothing bad about it. It's just different.
Okay.
I do think...
That's really interesting.
I think dressing appropriately and smartly, and that's the way you show respect to people and to an event. I think that is a very English thing, a British thing.
Yeah.
More than, I think... The Dutch can just be a bit like, I'll just wear my old jacket.
But
it's
fine.
It
doesn't really matter, does it? Like that's the thing.
They
it's
care
like
a bit less.
It's kind of more relaxed.
I don't think either is better or worse. It's just different. It's just a cultural difference.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
I don't think it's not a selfish thing on your part.
It's fun that you were like, I wouldn't want to ruin something with someone else. And I was like, I would. It meant that I wasn't coming to an event that I looked awful.
Doesn't matter. No, I think a lot of people listening would agree with you.
Hopefully.
Okay, let's move on. Would you rather be cast on a survival-style reality TV show or a creative competition show?
So I probably want survival style purely because of a really pathetic reason, is that if a creative competition show like the Bake Off or like the Great British Sewing Bee or something like that, I would love to be part of Strictly, but I'd hate to be judged. Like, whereas I hate being judged. I hate, like, if I bake, I don't like trying it myself, and I don't like other people's opinions on it. Like, praise is great, but then I'd be like, my self-criticism's always there anyway. So survival style, you literally have to just get in there and like survive. And I feel that I'd learn a lot more about myself in the survival one that I already know that I would struggle in a competition show being critiqued.
Yeah, getting that constructive criticism is really tough.
Yeah, I'm not, which is probably, probably a weakness on my part. I'm not good at...
But did you do any of that growing up? Did you do any like competitions or anything?
No, only team sports. Yeah. It wasn't a singular thing at me. It wasn't me standing up in front of someone and being critiqued.
So you've just not had practice.
No.
That's the thing, isn't it? We get used to stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't like hearing that I've got room for improvement.
It's tough.
I hate that.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh. Because I think like I hear it in my head anyway, and I know where I could give more. And then when someone says it out loud to me, I'm like, you've noticed it too. It becomes a bigger, like, bigger, like, kind of like, you've noticed it too. Everyone thinks it. And it becomes a bigger, like, thing in my head that I then, like, not all, I'm like, you knew it anyway. You didn't do enough effort, and everyone else has noticed too. So then I think the survival thing, I'd be like, I could grit down.
Yeah,
I could be like,
it's all about you, not about what anyone thinks. I'm not saying it's all about you. I'm saying,
I know what you mean.
The important thing is your effort.
Yeah, then my effort would be, if I don't survive, then my effort's not big enough. Like, you have to survive. Yeah.
Well, you see, you sound a lot cooler than I do, because I was like, I don't want that because I don't want to get thirsty.
But I do understand that. When you said that, I was like, that's a really good point. I'm not good when I'm thirsty or hungry or tired or cold or wet. So actually, I've not really thought this through. Survival, if it's survival as in like in a hotel, 5-star hotel, I'll survive that. But I'm not very good survival camping. No.
I reckon you'd be good. You survive 2 kids with a very small age difference. I think you can survive anything.
The adrenaline's there.
Oh yes, you're a survivor.
See, she can sing.
Whoa. Anyway, let's move on.
You're good.
Thank you. Right. Would you rather star in a romantic comedy or an action-adventure movie?
Romantic comedy.
Ooh.
I'm a sucker for anything like that. Like, any kind of, like, I just love the whole romance thing. Not even, like, the smuttiness all the time, but, that kind of first... They're always about that first buzz and that, like, kind of first meeting, the butterflies. Like, if you could just bottle that feeling up and inject it in yourself. Probably a drug. But then, that, like, and that is such a, I definitely would love to be a, not like a soppy girl who, like, just falls for the guys all the time, but like kind of you get the romance. I just like the romantic comedy. Yeah, I just think it's easy watching and it's just nice. It makes you feel good.
It is nice. I love love. I love love, and I love a bit more than love as well.
The physical act of love.
And you're right, though. It's that feeling of that, like, flutter and the attraction and then, like, ooh.
First kiss.
It's really nice. Yeah. Okay. Hence why you like those romantic novels as well. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Would you rather live on a boat or in a tree house?
A boat.
Oh, I love how different you are.
I started to laugh when I was asking these questions because I was like, I'm the opposite on most of these questions.
That's great.
A boat, because I could travel more and get around, and not that I know how to operate a boat, but I'd like to live and go, and then I can move around and or just anchor up. But yeah, boat.
Nice. So maybe in your current life you feel a little bit tied down.
Oh, yeah, because your animals coming in.
You need this, like, freedom.
Yeah, the open sea,
sail
like
away
Moana.
And travel. I am Moana.
Honestly, sometimes I like tear up at that moment.
Oh.
If you haven't watched Moana, I would definitely recommend going to watch Moana. Yeah. It's one of those feel good ones. But yeah, I would want to be on a boat.
Oh.
Not in a thunderstorm.
No.
In a nice calm yacht with someone else driving it.
Yeah. A very beautiful yacht.
Yeah.
With lots of prosecco.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's lovely. No, I love that. I love that.
You and your magical tree, me and my yacht.
I'm an elf in the woodlands in a magical tree. And
yours sounds more like yours sounds better now.
No, mine's just more nerdy. It's fine. Yours is cool. And you get to travel. I mean, I'm stuck in a tree.
Yeah, true. You might be able to swing from tree to tree. In a little jungle.
Oh, yes. Okay. Would you rather be able to fly or be able to breathe underwater?
Fly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're the same on that. I just don't want to be with the sharks.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
There's just more like underwater, there is only a water environment. Yeah. Whereas if you can fly, you could fly.
It's a freedom thing again.
All over in the world, and all these different. You can go to the jungle. You can fly to the Alps. You can have many more different experiences flying.
Yeah, I feel like underwater it also feels a bit suffocating. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I know we can breathe pressure. Down there, and the pressure, but yeah.
Interesting. So we want to fly.
Yeah,
Superwoman 1 and 2.
Little birds.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh, just flipping my page. We're almost there. So what are 3 books you'd recommend to our audience and why?
Okay, so I hadn't really thought about this, but I have since we've been talking. I would do Happy Hormones or Healthy Hormones? Or Hungry Woman. It's by Pauline J. Cox. It's quite new, and she is a dietitian, but the first part of her book is like half of it is the science behind our hormones. So our women's sex hormones, so our estrogen and our progesterone. I mean my words today. And how the imbalance can really affect you, and how things like thyroid problems and PCOS and all these different like things are affected by our hormones, and how, because hormones are such a little imbalance, are create such a big difference in our bodies and can make us feel quite awful some of the time. So these tiny imbalances. So she's all about how you can incorporate it into your diet. The only thing about a book is I read it in the summer, I think, and a few months ago, and I just immediately when it got to the diet bit was like put it down, because it suddenly felt overwhelming, and like things it's like matcha instead of your tea, and it was like put these other things in, like, you know, these collagen peptides. Was it
like
that.
Loads and loads of ingredients?
Yes, loads of ingredients. I was like, they're just going to sit in my cupboard. I have 2 young children. I cook for them and I eat their scraps as my dinner, basically. Like, I don't have time to create a whole new meal for me. But I recently reopened it and I started to take a few small things out. So I put in things like collagen peptides I've bought. So I'm adding collagen peptides in and things like that. And I'm just changing. It's just changing little tweaks. And I think that's the thing. But the science of this book is unreal.
So what's it called again?
I think it's Hungry Woman.
Is it The Hungry Woman?
It's just Hungry Woman. And it's like Happy Hormones is the subtitle.
I like it.
I'll put a link to it.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I've read is I can't think of the title. How to Age, I think, by Roseanne Kenny, who is the professor at Trinity College. She's written this book about aging, about how you were saying about kind of like your PhD that you were talking about, is how the different, like the blue zones of the world and what they have in common, and how we should socialize with each other, and how we eat and how we physically are, and how that gives us how we age better from this, and how like what the people who have lived to 100 have in common. And it's all about it's having purpose in life, and it's just such a well-written book. And you're reading the books and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I need to do that more. And the way she writes, and she's been on a few podcasts, and she just is amazing the way she speaks, and the facts that she comes out with. This is like a 10, 15, 20-year study she's been doing about how people age, and it's really, really good. So I would recommend that one.
I'll definitely be borrowing that book from you. It came out last year,
but it's a good one.
Yeah.
And my other one is nothing to do with health and happiness. It's a smutty one. It's not a smutty one. It was a big TikTok viral trend on it, and I started to read it, I think, and it actually saved me. In the part, I think I'd just come out of that 202 section, and I just felt very lost in my identity. And there's a series of books called A Court. Well, it starts, the first book is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it's like a fantasy fiction series. There is smut in there,
Great.
And it's like a romantic novel of like fairies, other world, and things like that. But it just took me out of my world, and like gave
real
me this escapism, and it just. And it kind of got me back into reading, but it was really good, and I would highly recommend. And it's a series. My mum started to read it, which I don't think I'm happy about, but I would highly recommend to other people. If you've read it, tell me what you thought, and if you love it as much as I do. But if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend reading it.
I am buying this on my Kindle tonight.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, definitely. The character building in it is really good as well. It's a really good character building.
And can you repeat the name one more time?
Court of Thorn and Roses.
Court
of Thorn and Roses. And then there's like a Court of Wings Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin. They're the 3 main books in this fantasy fiction, and then it goes on to these other worlds as well.
Oh, okay. I'll be looking that up.
Yeah.
And anyone who's a fan of some romance and some smut and some fantasy, look at this.
Fantasy fiction.
All right, so we're nearing the end.
Yeah.
What are 3 other podcasts that you recommend to our audience, and why?
Well, I mentioned the other Drive by Peter Attia.
The Drive,
yes.
By
Peter, that's a really good
it's very
one.
Interesting, very scientific, isn't
it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting the things they delve into and things. He's very focused on glucose monitoring at the moment.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really good.
And on, is it Peter Attia that's talked about the centenarian decathlon? Have you heard that? Or is it someone else?
No, maybe him.
Is it Andrew Huberman? I think it's Peter Attia. It's the training for the last decade in your life.
It might be him.
I think he was talking about
he's about Outlive, so he's about the longevity. Yeah, so he might be him.
Yeah, the decathlon basically in your last decade. Like, what do you want to do when you're in your 80s or 90s? Do you want to be able to walk so many, like a kilometer or jog at this pace or be realistic?
Yeah.
And what do we need to do today to train for that ability when we're 90?
Because one of the facts that he came out with was you are less likely to fall down a step in a pavement when you're in your 90s. No, you're not likely to fall when you step up, but when you're more likely to fall when you're down because you haven't got the strength in your body that strength and that muscle movement, and that's why you have to train now because it's harder to step down and have that balance and step up. And then there's a fact in one of his things where it's like, if you break your hip in your 90s, in a year, you'll be... The different ages are like how healthy you are and how fit you are. Like the percentages are ridiculous. Like you'll be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And then like if you're in a wheelchair and you break your hip, you're likely to die. It's really like that within a year, and the percentage is just shocking. And it's stuff that we can do now. So he's really good at things like that.
Yeah,
really
fall prevention.
Yeah.
And working on your balance and your strength and your, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something really sad. There's like a, kind of from looking at the research when I was doing my PhD on aging, there's data showing that breaking your hip is very highly associated with cognitive decline. Yeah. Because once people land in a hospital for a few months, something about staying in a hospital and being isolated from your normal life just completely makes the brain shut down. Yeah. And so someone will go into the hospital for a broken hip, but they'll come out of the hospital with the beginnings of dementia purely because of that event, which is ridiculous.
That is shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, and like the hospitals though, it's so busy and things like that, but you're so out of your purpose. Whereas like Kenny always talks about, you're out of your purpose. You're, whether you got up and you cleaned your house, that's what you did in the day, or like you made yourself, if you're on your own, you're night, or you did something, or even if you're in a home and you go down to see everyone in the community room and you have that routine, as soon as that stops, you're in a hospital, just lying there, or like you have a hip break and you can't move. Yes, it might be busy around you, but you have no purpose in the day anymore, just to lie there and someone else is helping you do things. So it is quite shocking, and I think that he really hit home. And he said at one point, he said, what shocked me this year when I read this, it really hit me back into like kind of focusing on health and happiness and health really, and like longevity, is write down like next 10 years of your life up until like your 90s, and then, or like 100, however far you want to go, and then the people you love underneath. So my kids, when I'm, in 10 years time, they'll be in their teenage years, what do I want to achieve? Like they'll be sprinting, running, they'll be in their high school, doing sports and stuff. I want to be able to happily psychologically be able to support them through their teenage years, but also physically be able to catch up with them if they're running or cycling, or we go on and things like that. And then when they're in their 20s, I know if they were going to university, I still need to be able to work and support them through university if they want to do that, or if they need a job or to buy a house, like to hopefully support them. So I need to be able to work still. Then it's when they're in their 30s, like they might want to have children, and then my grandchildren come along. It's like, I want to be able to lift my children up and play around with toddlers. And it's such a thinking it like that was like, no, I definitely need to do this future thing. And that's what he's kind of like, outlive longevity and health span. Health span's a bit of a coin term, but he's like, definitely it's longevity in your life. So.
Yeah, and train for it. Yeah. And make sure if
what you do now makes a massive effect now, and it's never too late as well. He's like, it's never too late, which is
always
quite true.
Yep. And don't think that we can be kind of inactive now and that magically in 20 years' time we will be fit. But actually, no, you got to be fit now.
Yeah, the foundations need to start right. But then whatever you do now will have such a profound effect. If you start now, it's better than not.
Yes.
So it's not been like, oh, it's too late.
Oh,
you just start. But like if you start now, the earlier you start, the better, but never feel like you should not start. Is his message, basically.
Yes,
and it's quite, it kind of kick-started me what I needed that to do. So, but yeah. Other podcasts.
Was there another one, or was there another last question?
I think
there was another one, but it's not written on my notes.
No, I think there's what do I want to achieve?
Is it your vision? Vision.
Or what do I like to see for women's health?
Yeah, it's a vision for humans, for human women, women's health and happiness going forward.
I'd like, they have these continuous glucose monitoring for diabetes. I'd love it if there was something like this for women's hormones.
Oh,
you could see your daily, just because it takes the guesswork out of it. Like, it might be this, it might be that. And it would, if you had this on for a month, it would show so much. And you could, if you have a thyroid issue, it would show the difference in your thyroid, and it just to measure your hormone levels wherever in your body it needs to be measured, or if you can just do it, if it's in your arm and it just gives you enough of your cycle, so it would help fertility, it'd help menopause, it helps so much.
It would help avoid pregnancy.
It would
no one would need to have the pill, because you could know when you're ovulating. And
so I think that would be, but the only thing is that it needs to have, this is me spitballing, so it might not be true, but I do think you need to have more women in science to push this, because men aren't going to push that agenda. Why would they be a big thing if we can manage it? It's not a big thing, but actually if there's a monitor and it's the AI can then, whatever it is that can monitor, and you can see it on your screen rather than just taking your temperature and menstruating, seeing if you're fertile and stuff, or wherever you're ovulating. I think that would be a better...
I think science-wise, there are a lot of women in science.
Yeah, maybe just a sweeping statement by me.
But maybe tech companies
it's a tech one.
Are still a bit more male-dominated. And maybe the tech companies... so...
It would be tech. It's not women in
It's kind of an intersection of tech and science, isn't it?
And it needs to have
then the tech companies are probably going a bit more towards male-driven outcomes.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily something that maybe would cure things, but it would pull out other symptoms. That it's what's the word I'm trying to say? I'm trying to think of things. It's basically it would eliminate certain things, and it would help people manage themselves. So if they're thinking like, why do I feel like this? It would show you quite easily.
So useful. Yeah. I think that's a great thing.
That's what I'd love.
Yeah, you could know whether your hormones were healthy, whether you could see the effects of your stress, whether you're under-eating, over-exercising. A lot of the people running marathons, running too much, lose their period. Yeah. And, they can get that feedback.
Yeah, and I think it gives you the control to see actually what your body, to not just test. I know it would be quite hard to do. Maybe it would be quite hard to do hormones, because I know in certain parts of your body there's different hormone balances. But just there must be a general...
Must be possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it's possible. And hopefully in the next 10 years or so, that might happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Someone out there.
I think there was one last question. Was there? What would you like to do for your health and well-being right now that isn't really possible in your time, your commitments, but that you would like to fit in right now?
I like to do something daily, so I think it'd be something that I could fit into my routine daily, whether it was in the morning, like wake up, whether it be journal or Pilates or yoga, or do something for 10-15 minutes. But I'm never awake.
But that's possible.
But no, my alarm clock is my 4-year-old who wakes up at 10 to 6 in the morning. So my alarm goes off at 6:30. Yeah. But she, 9 times out of 10, will have woken up before then. So I even if I set my alarm for 6, like this morning, she was up at 10 to 6 and she came in. And it's just not that kind of like...
Yeah. So you want to be able to do something daily in the morning. Yeah. Specifically in the morning.
Yeah, because I think at night time, when like they're gone to bed, then I come down, I tidy up. And then it's very much that I'm then like tired. And I just want to zone out. Whereas I need to try and introduce something daily.
Yeah. Morning is the best time.
Yeah. But I need to find something that's actually, that works, like that mindfulness that works for me. Because everything I try is like, this is just... Journaling feels too long, and I'm like, I give it up, or like breathing, I'm like, can't concentrate. I need to just meditate. I'm like, I really need to find that one thing that works.
Well, maybe we'll find it together.
Hopefully, somebody.
Yeah.
All
right.
But
well,
thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That's quite a long episode.
Isn't it?
But that's okay.
We will.
I hope you all enjoyed listening to that. We all got to know Katja a little bit more. Thank you very much.
I told you I was a talker.
She's a talker. But she's not by herself. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll be out with another episode very soon.
Yes.
So in our next episode, we will have an expert come to talk about something health and happiness related.
Again, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask us or you want us to look at, then please do send us a message or an email at healthandhappinesspodcast@gmail.com or on our Instagram page, Health and Happiness Podcast.
Yep. And if you like this podcast, you can like and subscribe.
Yes.
Can't believe I'm saying that. Anyway.
That's very true.
More to come. Lots more to come. We have so many good plans. Yeah. So have a lovely rest of your day or evening.
Yeah. Thank you very much. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode. And if you did, it would be amazing if you could like and subscribe to our podcast.
This way, you'll get notified every time we bring out a new episode. And it will give us a little boost to keep going.
For any extra information, behind the scenes and updates on our podcast, please follow our Instagram page at healthandhappiness_podcast, which will also have the details on how to sign up to our newsletter.
If you have any questions, feedback, or you would like to come on the podcast, please email us at healthandhappinesspodcast@gmail.com. Or send us a message on Instagram.
We'd love to hear from you.